Yo, what's good, YouTube? This your boy Derrick Branch here with SportsView360.com, covering New Orleans Saints. And today's topic was we're going to talk about the message put out by not Bills, my bad, New England Patriots wide receiver Stefon Diggs in regards to the upcoming matchup with the New Orleans Saints. So after the Patriots' dramatic win over the Bills in Week 5, Diggs, sports, Diggs spoke with reporters and said, and I quote, the Saints might actually be a bigger test than the Bills." Now that's a statement because the Bills are supposed to be, you know, one of the AFC's elite teams. So what exactly did he mean by that? And more importantly, is he right? Let's get into it. So the New England Patriots are coming off a massive divisional win, a 23-20 upset victory over the Buffalo Bills on the road. The win moved New England to 3-2, right? And gave new head coach Mike Vrabel a signature moment early in his New England tenure as their head coach. But as good as that win felt, Stefon Diggs, he made it clear in his post game locker room interview that there's no time to celebrate. Quote, super important we turn the page, considering the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints is a really good football team, Diggs said to reporters in the locker room on October 8th. I know their record might not show it, but they're very skilled. They're very skilled up front and in the back end. To be honest, it might be a bigger test than last week, just as far as having success and being able to replicate that process or do it all over again and work equally as hard and attention to detail and focus. End quote. He went on to say that the Patriots, pretty much can't overlook the Saints just because they're 1-4 record, which is right. And that's the mindset of a veteran player, though, who knows how fast momentum can shift in the NFL. But to me, Diggs wasn't wrong because let's be honest. On paper, the Saints don't look. On paper, they don't look intimidating right now. One win in 5 games, a young quarterback in Spencer Rattler, still, learning the ropes of being a every week starter, and a roster that's been up and down like for the most of the season. We're just starting to see some momentum, you know, slightly shift to the positives. But here's the thing though. The Saints, this team has been in nearly every game they've played this year. Pretty much. Outside of getting blown out by Seattle. You know what I mean? They lost to the Cardinals by just a touchdown. They lost to the 49ers by 5 points. Close game. Even in those games, they showed, flashes. They just couldn't finish. That was the issue in the 49ers game. That was the issue in the Cardinals game. That was the issue in the Bills game because the Bills did give you some some nuggets. They gave you some Easter eggs to get. You just didn't take advantage of it, you know? And that's what Diggs was getting at when he said this might be a bigger test than the Buffalo Bills. Because this Saints team is hungry. It's a hungry football team. I'm starting to see it. They're playing with nothing to lose, and that's dangerous for a favorite like New England. The Patriots are is right now the betting lines have New England as -3.5 right now. So there's that. Plus, let's talk about the Saints Week 5 win over the New York Giants. That game might have been a turning point um, for this season. Who knows? Their first win of the season, and Spencer Rattler, he finally looked like he was settling into his role, settling into that starting role. Finally threw like a deep shot, passing one of the wide receivers receiving Rashid Shaheed on the receiving end of that touchdown. Threw for 225 yards, no turnovers, no sacks, and connected the deep, like I say, the deep 87-yard touchdown pass to Rashid Shaheed that pretty much got the Saints back into winning that game. You know that's the kind of play that builds confidence, and we all know that confidence can be contagious, man. It can be contagious. We're being honest, you know. But here's where things get interesting at for this game. The Patriots defense has been solid, but they haven't exactly faced a ton of mobile or rhythm based quarterbacks lately. Riley isn't perfect, we all know, but when he's comfortable, he can be a dangerous quarterback outside the pack, outside the pocket. He'll extend plays, and you know, he can effectively move the ball down the field. They just got to get better in that red zone. The Saints defense um, is starting to come alive. Sanker in particular, Sanker has been the biggest surprises this season. Former fourth round pick out of Virginia, picking off passes, forcing fumbles, showing incredible awareness for a rookie. So while the Patriots might have the upper hand record wise, this game feels like a trap for them. You've got a Saints team finally building momentum at home in the Superdome. And when the Saints are good, the dome is one of the loudest stadiums in the league, and a Patriots team that might still be celebrating last week's win in Buffalo. So adding the fact that adding the fact that this would be Stefon Diggs' first trip to the dome as a Patriot, and there's going to be a lot of energy on both sides. To be honest, so. But here's my takeaway though. I think Stefon Diggs is saying what a lot of veterans are thinking right now. This is the kind of game that tests, your maturity as a team. If New England wants to prove they're legit, the AFC in the AFC East, they have to handle business this week against a team like the Saints, because New Orleans is 1-4, but they're playing with a lot of pride right now, speed, and just enough youth play spoiler. We saw that tonight with the New York Giants taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champions. The same team that the Saints beat 26-14 in Week 5. They go on a short week at home and beat the Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles. So it can be done. On the flip side, you got this is another huge opportunity for Kellen Moore and Spencer Rattler. You got your first one under your belt. The fans are behind you, and the home crowd is looking for another reason to celebrate a W before they go on the road to Chicago next week. So if Rattler can stop two solid performances in a row, this could be the moment that shifts shifts the narrative, from quarterback that only got one win on his resume as a starter to that guy that could possibly be that franchise quarterback for the Saints to usher in that new era. And also don't forget about Kellen Moore and Mike Vrabel, two two head coaches that are highly proficient in their area of expertise. Mike Vrabel, defensive guy. Highly intelligent defensive guy. Former player. Former linebacker. Kellen Moore, highly proficient quarterback. Very successful in college. Very successful play caller in multiple places. So this is going to be a chess match, you know. So Diggs says the Saints might be a bigger test than the Bills, and honestly, I agree with him. The Saints are unpredictable, and the Patriots are walking into a potential trap game in the Superdome. You know, and I know a lot of people probably read this or listen to this video and probably say that's what he's supposed to say. It's cliche. I mean, it is for the most part, but how many teams we have seen do this before though? We saw it tonight with the Philadelphia Eagles losing, getting blown up by getting blown up by the New York Giants, a team that the Saints just beat. So it can happen. I mean, it's players speak, but it can happen. A lot of these guys read into the press clippings too much. Come in, head swollen to the game, play somebody with a losing record and get beat. We've seen it happen all the time. So there's that. So what y'all think? Will Diggs back up his words, or will the Saints shock the Patriots and pull off another win at home? Leave me know in the comment section below. I'm out. Peace.